Hey guys, this is very unconventional. I think I only talked about this a few times. Back last year, I had stopped covering it after nothing came of it. But yeah, seems like Trump is finally getting in trouble. He's supposedly going indictment down. Um, but yeah, this is constantly being updated, obviously, because this is like a national security issue. Um, like and subscribe if you're pretty excited that something is happening. Um, or tell me if you feel that this doesn't happen enough in terms of corruption in our politics. Because I can see, and I hate saying this, but Trump was sort of like, in terms of how obvious he was about being different and outspoken. Him doing this to incite the January 6th thing, and this has nothing to do with the classified documents, I believe. Uh, Maybe I'm wrong. This is constant. He's being indicted on 4 charges, so maybe I'm anyways, I'm reading this. Sorry about the babbling. All right, what we're covering here. Former President Donald Trump is scheduled to appear in court at 4 p.m. ET after being indicted on 4 criminal charges in special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into attempts to overturn the 2020 election. Federal prosecutor said in charging documents that Trump, quote, was determined to remain in power after losing the election, and that he and 6 unindicted co-conspirators orchestrated the plot to reverse the results leading to the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. You can read the annotated indictments here. Alright. Smith said his office will seek a speedy trial and called January 6th an unprecedented assault. Unprecedented, yeah. Um, on American democracy, and it was fueled by lies. Trump, who is a 2024 GOP front runner and has already been charged in Smith's separate probe on classified. Okay, I'm so stupid. I wanted to read this together with you guys. It's kind of how I work. I want to save how I already, how I might feel, in sort of like a organic way. Because having to like read it the second time and feel the way you did the moment you first read it, that's always hard, right? So, alright. Trump obviously denies any wrongdoing. Okay. Oh, I guess I could watch this, but it wasn't working, so I'm not gonna waste my time trying to play a video. Anyways, what we know about the 6 co-conspirators mentioned in the 2020 election interference indictment. So, before I go on, guys, this is a threat to national security, obviously. This is very important. And with that said, I feel like this is almost a distraction because there's so much more shit out there that is happening. And this is just one fascist who we happen to who we took to court and might get arrested. Um, we're lucky if we're lucky if this does anything. Honestly, I'm almost very skeptical that this is going to lead to him getting arrested. Um, Trump was saying that around the election time seems suspicious to do this, but like he would have complained no matter when they were doing it. He would have said they're trying to harm my campaign no matter where around the year that this was happening to him. So don't believe what he's saying about they're only doing this because of the literal election around the corner. Okay. The historic indictment against Donald Trump in the special counsel's probe into January 6, 2021, and efforts to overturn the 2020 elections say that he enlisted co conspirators to assist him in his criminal efforts. The charging documents repeatedly reference six of these co conspirators, but as is common practice, their identities are withheld because they are not charged with any crimes. CNN, however, can identify five or six co conspirators based on quotes in the indictment and other contexts. They include co conspirator one is former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani. Among other things, the indictment quotes from a voicemail that co conspirator one left, quote, for a United States Senator on January 6, 2021. The quotes in the indictment match quotes from Giuliani's call intended for GOP Senator Tommy Luberville, as reported by CNN and other outlets. Ted Goodman, a political advisor to Giuliani, said in a statement that the indictment, quote, eviscerates the First Amendment, end quote. Co-conspirator 2 is former Trump's lawyer John Eastman. Among other things, the indictment says co-conspirator 2 circulated a two-page memorandum, end quote, with a plan for Vice President Mike Pence to overturn the 2020 election while presiding over the Electoral College certification on January 6, 2021. The indictment quotas from the memo and those quotes match two-page memo that Easterman wrote as reported and published by CNN. Oh, wow. So I wonder if Mike Pence, since he was actually against this thing, but it seems like he was initially for it, but now when he opted out, that's when everybody was asking for Mike Pence to be hung or something. I'm pretty sure that happened in that order, right, guys? Mike Pence was for it, but then he wasn't because to cover his own ass. But then people, his supporters, and people in power knew Pence was a traitor in the movement. Damn. No, I may be talking out of my ass based on false memory, but I'm pretty sure this Pence put himself in a pretty tight spot in all this. All right, Easterman's attorney Charles Berman said the indictment relies on a misleading presentation of the record, end quote, and that his client would decline a plea deal if offered one. Co-conspirator 3 is former Trump lawyer Sidney Powell. The indictment says co-conspirator 3 fired a lawsuit against the governor of Georgia, end quote. On November 25th, 2020, alleging, quote, massive election fraud, and that the lawsuit was dismissed on January 7th, 2020. These dates and quotations match the federal lawsuit that Powell filed against Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. An attorney for Powell declined to comment. Co-conspirator 4 is former Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark. The indictment identifies co-conspirator 4 as the Justice Department official. The indictment also quotes an email that the top Justice Department official sent to Clark, rebuting Clark's attempts to use the department to overturn the election. The quotas in that email directly match quotas in an email sent to Clark. According to a Senate report about how Trump tried to weaponize the Justice Department in 2020, CNN has reached out to attorney for Clark. Oh, okay. Co-conspirator 5 is pro-Trump lawyer Kenneth Chesebro. Among other things, the indictment references an email memorandum that co-conspirator 5 sent to Giuliani on December 13th, 2020, about the fake electors plot. The email sender, recipient, date, and content are direct match for an email that Chesebro sent to Giuliani, according to a copy of an email made public to the House Select Committee that investigated January 6th. CNN has reached out to an attorney for Chesebro. Oh, for Chesapeake. Yeah, just get these people off the hook, apparently. Sure. Don't just throw them in jail. Alright. The identity of co-conspirator 6 is unclear. The indictment says they are, quote, the political consultant who helped implement a plan to submit fraudulent slates of presidential electors to obstruct the certification proceeding, end quote. The indictment also further ties this person to the fake elector state in Pennsylvania. Alright. I'm gonna attempt to watch this. I feel like this is not gonna end well. Alright, bear with me, guys. Alright. Man, it's still pretty early to be covering this, I think. I know there's people who, second by second, every inch of this has been covered. Even the actual PDF of the data people have read over. And I still feel like it's a little silly of me to be covering this aspect of it, but I'm just trying to make people aware that I'm not totally clueless about what's going on in the world. Like, I'll still cover some important stuff like this. It's just, it's not really in my to-do list, and this totally like goes off my wheelhouse. Alright. While I wait for that to load, I guess I am gonna read. So, Biden tells CNN he won't be following Trump's arraignment today. President Joe Biden will not follow the arraignment of former President Donald Trump Thursday, he told CNN. The president made the comment during the bike ride in, okay, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where he is currently on vacation. A cycling Biden responded with an emphatic no when asked by CNN's Jay McMichael whether he will be following the arraignment. Moments later, he rode by pool reporters and declined to comment on Trump's indictment. Biden has refrained from commenting. Um, okay. Thanks. Replace your windshield and recalibrate your advanced safety system. Thanks. Alright, this is getting annoying. Stay safe with SafeLink. Schedule. Alright, peace. I thought I pressed this. Come on. Man. I'm not even like away from the house and there's a fine signal going on, so is this just like what websites with ads are? Just laggy nonsense? Okay. Sure. Any day now. Alright. Watch it just start up again while I'm trying to read this. So, yeah, I don't think it's worth reading that Biden's not gonna fucking be there. Although, I mean, it does seem a little important. But if he's not gonna be there and he doesn't even care, then it's not really. There's no data involved in that that's gonna fucking make that important. Maybe Biden's just cocky about the what the election results are gonna be or something, so he doesn't feel he has to like stay up to date on that or whatever. Alright, I don't know why this X won't go away. Oh, there we go. When former President Donald Trump appears in a Washington, D.C. courtroom on Thursday, he will be doing so in a building that he had a direct view of the violence that unfurled at the U.S. Capitol on. Holy wow, that's incredible, actually. It's just like, do you feel the guilt? Okay. Trump is scheduled to appear before a magistrate judge on 4 criminal charges related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Unlike the other indictments, however, this hearing will play out in the E. Barrett Prettyman federal courthouse that had been the central vehicle of accountability for the January 6th attack on democracy. More than 1,000 Trump supporters who participated in the Capitol breach have also gone through the motions of first appearance hearing that the former president will go through himself. And day after day, the courthouse has been where judges, defendants, lawyers, witnesses, jurors, court officials have had to constantly revisit the significance of the assault on Congress and what drove it. It's super interesting that they're making Trump spectate on that a little. He's probably gonna like show no remorse and act like he doesn't care or know what's going on, but whatever. It's a dynamic that has weighed on Judge Barrell, however, who recently stepped down from her role as D.C. District Court's Chief Judge, a position that put her in charge of deciding many of the privilege disputes that ultimately allowed federal prosecutors to access key evidence in Smith's case. Quote, just outside this courthouse are visible reminders of the January 6th riot and assault on the Capitol, Howell said at the January 2021 sentencing of a rioter. During that proceeding, she stressed that the Capitol attack was not a peaceful protest, but rather it was, quote, hundreds of people who, quote, came to Washington, D.C. to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power. Alright, wow. Literally stuff that was updated an hour and 52 minutes ago. Again, I still feel weird reading this because this is still so beyond me, even though I know this is an important threat to national security that we're dealing with right now. Trump will be traveling with lawyers and close aides today. Former President Donald Trump is expected travel from Bedminster to Washington, D.C. today with his lawyers Todd Blanche and John Lauro, as well as his top campaign advisors Cecil Wills, Chris La Civita, Jason Miller, Stephen Chung, and Justin Caporale. Alna Haba, the general counsel and legal spokesperson for Save America, a political action committee, and political and legal advisor Boris Epfentain are also expected to travel with Trump as he is arraigned at a federal courthouse in Washington, D.C.